ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Hey, November 11th, we're here at the Cam Henderson Center for today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour is going to be 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Since it is a Monday night basketball game here at the Henderson Center, we're going to be with you until 6:30, and then we're going to have the game tonight between Marshall and Southern Indiana. They are the Screaming Eagles, and they come into this one today 0-2, but I think we're in store for a really good game. They went to overtime against DePaul, and then they lost an overtime contest against Bucknell. Very close, both of those contests. So I think we're going to see, I'm hoping we don't get an overtime game, but I think we're going to have a close one here tonight. But this will be a great opportunity for the Thundering Herd to try to bounce back after, I think, a disappointing loss against Toledo. We're going to break all that for you down later on this evening. We'll have our pregame coverage beginning at 6 o'clock also on 93.7 The Dog. For those of you heading into the car right now and getting set to come down here to the Henderson Center, we'll take you all the way to tip-off. And then don't forget, after the game, we're going to, of course, be right back here with our post-game coverage. We'll have comments from head coach Cornelius Jackson. Hopefully, we're talking about a Marshall win. So I've got a couple of things we're going to do today for you, and we'll get started in a few minutes. Our text line this hour is going to be 304-396-TALK. That's 304-396-8255. I have a wealth of giveaways this week. We have got Marshall basketball coming up this weekend. We have also football coming up. It's the 75 game, and we're going to get more into that throughout the week. But I'm going to give away this hour a 4-pack of tickets for the football game, and I'm going to give away a 4-pack of tickets to the basketball game. Now, here's where you benefit. I'm going to send you to both. So one winner today gets both the 4-pack for football and the 4-pack for basketball. So you can make a day of it. If you don't have tickets to either event, you can make a day of it. So our text line this hour, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And to help you out and make it a little easier for you, what do I text, Paul? What do I do? Well, anytime you text in and be a part of the show, I enter you to win. But let's make it easy for you today. I'll give you a little direction. So one thing that I'm going to be talking about a lot today, and hopefully it's not going to be a problem much longer, but three-point shot. Right now, Marshall they're not hitting it. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. The three-point shot, Marshall is 17 of 66. 17 of 66. Now, opponents have only shot 6 of 26 against the Thundering Herd. So some of that's good defense. Some of that's just having the opportunity to go inside on the Herd. But Marshall, I think, is leaving a lot of points off the board because there have been so many missed three-pointers. They are averaging 33 three-point shots a contest. Is that a little too excessive? I think if they go in, you make the argument, of course it's not. But right now, the Herd's struggling from the three-point line. So let's just have some fun with this one today. How many three-point shots do you think the Herd will take in this one this evening against Southern Indiana? That's our text question of the day, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And everyone that texts in you're eligible. Everybody's eligible. So you can text in right now, and we'll do that at the end of the show. We'll make you a winner. So let's get those texts in. We got football, of course, to get into this week. And I'm not just talking about Marshall football as well. We're going to be keeping an eye on what is happening with the WVSSAC. And right now, I don't think anyone can answer that question. What is happening with the WVSSAC? We got the injunction in Wood County. Today is a holiday. And by the way, for all the veterans listening, thank you for your service. We appreciate everyone who has served or is serving for our country. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to you. After all, I get to do this for a living. This is the toy shop. This is really the toy department of life right now, talking about sports. So thank you for allowing me to entertain you in the toy department here of life. So, WVSSAC, establishing the fourth class. Well, I think ultimately the problem started when you had so many different changes at the very last minute. And the problem began when the State Board of Review ruled that 11 schools were to be moved down one class for football only for the upcoming season. And then more a few days later got moved down. And so the football rating plan, it's garbage right now. It contains a strength of schedule component. And there were a lot of schools that said, hey, look, you know what, that should reflect classification of opponents for when the games were scheduled, not the new classification that came into play starting in August. Because all of a sudden, and I'll use Huntington High as an example because, again, Cabell County was also considering filing an injunction, or at least the school board was asked to take similar measures. Huntington High, all of a sudden, there are games scheduled that aren't worth as much. Same schedule as last year, different point system. So you have 3 A's on the school schedule, and you have 4 A's. You get where I'm going with this? And so this has been a jumbled mess from the beginning. I don't think West Virginia needs 4 classifications. I understand why you tried it with basketball, and I really don't think you need 4 classifications in basketball. Now that we've gone through the process, this is West Virginia. It's not that big of a state compared to other states. You don't need 4 classifications. The old classification system worked for the most part. And so, here we are. The new point system has pretty much jumbled everything. Huntington High, I believe, started at 4th with all the official, unofficial ratings in. And then with the injunction, Huntington High is now 2nd. And part of the argument was loss of revenue, how much it's going to cost to travel. The system was not fair to anyone involved. And so what's happened here is we don't know what's going to happen. Huntington High is going to play. We don't know when. And unfortunately, I don't feel comfortable in telling you, hey, we got a game Friday night. So we're going to have to find out what's happening with the system, the court cases. I'm sure with tomorrow, courts are going to be open. We're going to find out if any more injunctions come in. This might eventually delay the high school football playoffs by a couple of weeks. We'll get your thoughts on that as well this hour. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I see him walking my way right now, so we're going to take our first break. Coming up, since we're here at Marshall University, it's a great opportunity to pull him out of his office. John Sutherland is going to join us, Senior Associate Athletic Director for Development and Executive Director of the Big Green. We've got him out of his office. He's going to talk to us when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Over the years, we've been asked a lot of questions. Like, why is our bank any different than those big city financials? After all, most banks offer the same products and services. The difference is our people and our service. We give you the one-on-one, first-name, friendly service that you deserve. Ohio Valley Bank, a better way to bank. Member FDIC. Visit us online at ovbc.com.
Now is the time to add on a new bathroom or remodel your old one with the latest up-to-date bathroom fixtures from Mutual Wholesalers, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated, 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Hey, Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the Tri-State. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kitty Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Thornhill Auto Group, your total automotive dealer offering Buick, Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, GM, Jeep, Lincoln, Mitsubishi, and Ram product lines. Community Trust Bank, located beside Pullman Square on 3rd Avenue. Pollux Jewelers, providing professional service with a personal touch. Visit Pollux Jewelers at 913 Winchester Avenue in Ashland.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn We Match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Well, you did it, didn't you? You blinked. And fall is fading fast. Winter will be here before you know it. And that means it's time for Thundering Herd basketball. The season is here. A season with new looks for both the men's team and the women's, with first-year head coaches Corny Jackson and Julie Folks ready to roll. Let the Herd heat up your winter. Don't miss a minute of the action. Men's season tickets start at $200. Women's just $30. Get yours right now at herdzone.com.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Monday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann, here today at the Cam Henderson Center. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat all of a sudden here.
You want me to get that for you?
Would you get that for me? Would you get that for me? You know what? We got him out of his office. It's always fun to drag him out of his office. John Sutherland is with us, Senior Associate Athletic Director for Development and Executive Director of the Big Green. You guys have big titles around here for all the big jobs you do.
Yeah, you know, the big title just makes for a bigger name plaque, and so you think it's more job security. So the bigger the name plaque, maybe the bigger job, but that's not really true in athletics.
No, that doesn't, no. But, hey, I like the idea of having the bigger name plaque.
Yeah.
So we got you out of your office today so we could talk about a lot of things. I know one thing that we've been talking about a lot over the last few weeks. A few weeks ago, Ryan Crisp came on, and we talked about, hey, what would be some of the things that Herd fans would like to see if you just had a checkbook and you could just write that check and upgrade things? And a lot of things focused on concourse, maybe more points of sale, more food, a whole list of things. Now, you're the guy in charge of making sure that we have the checkbook so we can have the wish list items taken care of. Is that a good description?
Well, we have a team that goes out and tries to fill the needs that our athletic department puts out there for us, and we've got a board that we're accountable to. But the bottom line is we're trying to raise money to get the best student-athlete experience and fan experience at the same time, trying to find that balance. So they both require a great commitment. So we want people to come to the games and go, man, this is great. Can we do better? Absolutely. We went to Ohio State and saw long lines, and people were in line, were complaining. And that's at Ohio State. So it happens everywhere, but our bottom line is we want to make it the best for our fans and best for our student athletes, and that's our job, to raise the money for those two things.
Of course, that's an ongoing process. It's not one and done. You know, you contribute to the Big Green. Hey, I feel good about that. Okay. But you need a lot of support.
That's right.
The monthly donor, the yearly donor, ticket sales, it all adds up.
It does, and the $60 donor to us has incredible value because a great number of $60 donors, which is the base price to come in to join the Big Green, well, that $60 I can guarantee is going to, number one, scholarships. You can have a great program, but if you don't have scholarships, you're not going to get great athletes in here. So we're trying to make sure that we provide all the different things that we can, but it always starts with scholarships in the Big Green, and that's the best part of the student-athlete experience.
How do you thrive in a day and age where scholarships used to be the thing, and now scholarship that's just a bullet point maybe, because NIL is taken over as the buzzword.
Right.
It's still about student athletes. I think that gets lost in the shuffle, but you have to start with scholarships, and then you have NIL, and there are a lot of kids that are looking for NIL opportunities, and there are a lot of kids that are looking for just the overall atmosphere of going to college, the entire package.
Sure.
Yeah, the college experience, and you've got to balance that, both of those things.
Yeah, you know, when we go out and we raise money right now, and like I say, it's for all the things that I've talked about, but the biggest thing is these kids are coming in and they're asking, you know, what am I going to, quote, get when I get here to Marshall University, or what am I going to get at any other school? So when you talk to the coaches, they'll tell you one of the first things out of the mouths of recruits is, okay, what's my NIL deal? What can I look to get? Now, coaches can't technically say, we'll give you X number of dollars if you come in here, but we can say, as coaches and staff, we can say, you're going to have a lot of opportunities, and, you know, it could be this, this, and this. But when you're talking about scholarships, that is something that's become a given. It's assumed. But with the changing landscape of college athletics, one of the most overused terms, you know, the changing landscape of college athletics. But when that's happening, you don't know what a scholarship's going to look like in the future for any school. There are kids right now with National Signing Day coming up on Wednesday who have thought they were going to get a scholarship from a school, but they are getting to signing date, and now they're finding out they're not getting a scholarship from the school. I just heard about that at Penn State University, that a young lady had a chance for that, and they were offered. That offer was rescinded. So many things changing so fast. What we try to do is just be there with those scholarship opportunities for whoever's going to get them for our student athletes.
And using that buzzword, changing landscape.
Yeah.
Eventually, we might get to the point where there might be roster limits, but everyone's guaranteed a scholarship. So there's a plus to that. The student athlete for an Olympic sport has a full ride. On the flip side, you got to make sure that everyone has a scholarship so you can give everyone a full ride.
Yeah, you take a look at all your sports, and some sports are equivalency sports. So you've got some like baseball, softball, and golf. I think there are some sports that they get X number of scholarships to divide up among athletes. Then you have other sports like men's and women's basketball, football. They are head count sports. So every one of those counts as a full scholarship. How that all turns out when they get done deciding on what we're going to be able to do as Division I institutions, what the conference decides what to do, what we can do, those things will help us determine how much we can do for a student athlete. And that's always going to include part of the NIL package. So you have to have a good NIL partner like we do in Athlete Advantage, and hope that NIL partner can help you supplement some of this income for these student athletes.
John Sutherland is with us, Senior Associate Athletic Director for Development and Executive Director of the Big Green. Facilities are a big part of the student-athlete experience, but it used to be the bigger your facilities, you could attract student-athletes. That might not be the case anymore, so you still want to keep your facilities the best they possibly can be, but that maybe, in a sense, gives you an opportunity to upgrade the fan experience with facilities.
Right. I think that's what we're trying to do in football especially. We've got some things that I think Ryan Crisp and our external staff have done an amazing job this year. When you look at the difference between what takes place during a football game, and sometimes folks will say the music's too loud, and some people say it's not loud enough. What kind of music are you playing? That's always a fine line to walk. It's kind of like church. What kind of music do you like? Well, it depends on who you ask. So I think it's important for people to know that we're making every effort to make it a fan experience that they like the best. And part of that experience is also going to be, what's the concourse look like? We know we got some work to do in our concourse areas, especially when the concealed carry law came into effect and we had to put fences up and we had to put in the weapons detectors. But once you get inside there, it's up to us to do a better job of what's taking place inside there. And I think we have done some good things. We've added some things like the food trucks and different stations, and we'll continue to get better at that. And Big Green's job is trying to keep a pulse of what our fans feel about those things. And we've got fans telling us how they feel about it. There's no doubt about it. But we think it's better than it has been. We still have a long ways to go.
John Sutherland is my guest, Senior Associate Athletic Director for Development and the Executive Director of the Big Green. And yes, fans will tell you what they think at any time, especially Marshall fans. That's probably the best feature of being a Marshall fan is you don't feel like you can't say something.
Well, no doubt. And I've been to 4 different institutions, and they're all the same in that regard. Everyone loves to give their feedback. What's happened now is there's so many different ways to give your feedback to get out to people. So it's not a bad thing for us to hear from people, really not. Even if we don't agree, let's see how we can make things better.
Football still rolling right now, bowl eligible, so that's going to be another opportunity for you down the line. Still looking for that conference championship, and of course, you're always looking to make that game day experience better. We talked about facility upgrades. There's also opportunities for, I don't want to say a more of a luxurious experience, but we've talked about party deck in one end zone.
Yeah.
You've got another end zone in mind.
So the premium areas in every basketball arena, every football stadium in the country, you're seeing a lot of people, all schools really, going to this idea of we've got to find more premium areas because there's a demand for that. So quite frankly, in our world, to raise money, we want to meet the demand, the expectations of the fans. So if they're willing to do more, to pay more for a premium area, we've got to try to provide that. So we're looking at some things in the end zone, the north end zone area, to maybe expand those opportunities, and we would like to work on that right away. There's some things we've got to get answered before we do anything else. But I think when you talk to Christian Spears and you look at all the different things that he has done, different places he's been, as well as here at Marshall, we're going to make things better. It's always going to improve. And the football stadium is an obvious example of that with our new scoreboard. We've got some premium seating with tables, and we created another suite. We've got a demand for suites. We've got a waiting list for suites. So we're going to try to do some more things, hopefully in that north end zone area, and expand that premium seating.
Any chance here in the near future, maybe we can talk about expanding the press box as well? I mean, I know we're talking a lot of money here, but I'm just throwing these things out here.
In the cam?
Here too.
Here too.
Here too. We can talk here as well, but in football, expand that press box. You could go a ways.
You could.
You could go a ways.
You could, and we could have more Paul Swanns that way.
We could have,
which is the objective.
Yes, more Paul Swanns.
I think when you look at how we can help the media, there's always a balance because, again, trying to find premium seating areas.
Yeah.
But you got to take care of the people who take care of you in the media.
Right.
You have to.
Well, I think what I'm saying is the press box itself, not just my area.
Right.
I'm talking the use. Expand that facility. Have more luxury suites.
I got you.
But if you want to give me, a spacious place to work, I'll take it.
And when we did, we went all out. We did.
You guys went all out here.
We've got this 6-foot table for you that is just pretty amazing.
It is.
Pretty nice.
It's fantastic. It's sturdy. There's actually a power strip up here.
There is.
That's the highlight of this area.
That might be the best looking power strip I've seen.
Yeah, courtesy of Marshall University. I have internet and I have a power strip.
And there's no charge for that. I mean, we're trying to help.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But you're right. The more suites, the better, because there is a demand for that. So we need to do that incrementally, and we need to do it so we're being cost effective. And you hit the nail on the head. When you have a demand for suites, then you better try to meet that demand, because you never know. No matter how good your football team is playing, you're always going to have demand for more suites. And we're fortunate at Marshall because we have been to places where we go and you don't see that. You see empty suites. We saw that at Southern Miss, which used to be packed for every game. But they've had some struggles, and you go down there and you see those empty suites. You got to do it the right way. Be smart about it.
John Sutherland is with us, Senior Associate Athletic Director for Development and Executive Director, Big Green. Before we talk about the annual fund, I know we want to hit on that, but what could there be in the future for the Cam Henderson Center? You're looking for those opportunities. What more could you do with the current configuration to sort of maybe enhance that experience?
Well, when you look at the West End on the floor, there's an area that we have for the band and for the students. And we would love to do a few more things down there. We've had some delays in getting some of our equipment. We took the bleachers out. The bleachers that were here, I think Cam Henderson himself may have put them in. I mean, they've been there a long time.
They felt like it.
They were pretty rough, not exactly safe. So we're trying to make sure that we take care of a premium area down there. Our band does a great job when they're down there. It's great to have a place to put the band. It reminds me of conference tournament, because you go to conference tournament, they have this section down by the basketball hoop, and it just kind of gives it a greater vibe. They're right there on top of the opposing team, which is always, to me, a good thing.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, and we're looking at the area upstairs where our women's basketball offices currently are, and maybe having an opportunity to do some things and move some things around to create more premium areas up there as well. So that's Christian's vision. He's just so good at providing us with a vision and a challenge to go with it. And he sees everything as a revenue-generating opportunity, and at the same time, he's listening to the fans. We may not always agree, but I think he's terrific at listening to what the fan base has to say, give their input.
Now, how can the fans help out? Annual fund is very important. It's the lifeblood of what you do.
Yeah, great way to say it. People join the Big Green at every level. The Big Green Scholarship Foundation was founded on our annual fund, which we now call the Marshall Athletic Fund. And the Marshall Athletic Fund is what we use to not just operate Big Green, but so much of that money goes right into scholarships. And again, you don't have scholarships, you're going nowhere. And the best thing, and I can tell you in my, believe it or not, 40 years of being involved in college athletics,
wow,
I can tell you that when you see young people later in life, after they've had a scholarship, and you see them later in life, it's just the most rewarding things to see a kid who would never have had the opportunities they had without that scholarship. And that's an overused phrase, I guess, in some ways, but I've seen it. I've watched it change kids. I've watched it change their family. And I can say without a doubt, that's the most gratifying part of being in college athletics. And then to watch them get involved in college athletics. So it's great. That's what the Marshall Athletic Fund does. We provide those opportunities.
John Sutherland with us, Senior Associate Athletic Director for Development and Executive Director for the Big Green. If someone, I don't know who that person would be, but if someone listening to this right now and they've never given or they've never been a part of the Big Green, easiest way for them to start?
Get on herdzone.com, go to Big Green, and you'll see the opportunities at what level they want to join. I mean, for a whopping $5 a month, over a 12-month period, you can join the Big Green for just $60. And that'll give you an opportunity to get some information on our mailing list, our email list. You'll get some information that otherwise you would not have had, and you'll find out what's going on. We have a lot of events in Big Green. We've got more events than you can imagine. And that allows you to have access to some of our players and coaches, and you really get to invest yourself into them.
John Sutherland, always a pleasure to have you on the show. We need to do more of it. Let's just tell Ryan Crisp take a few weeks off.
That'd be great. Ryan's pretty busy. He's a pretty
So he
busy
tells
guy.
you.
Yeah.
He tells you.
He's got 2 little kids. So when you got 2 little kids, that'll do it in a heartbeat. But I appreciate you, Paul, because you've been here through thick and thin. And I know there's one guy out there, Kenny Crawford. You know Kenny.
Yep.
Kenny. And so Kenny tells me what's going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'll say, I don't think that's right, Kenny, and he's right every time. And you know where he gets his information? He gets it from you.
I'll take that.
He gets it from you every time that you're on the air.
I'll take that.
Kenny will tell me something that I had no idea about, so keep me informed through Kenny. I appreciate
Kenny,
that.
thanks. Good job. Excellent work, Kenny. I need all the positive publicity I can get.
Doing a great job.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, brother.
Quick timeout. We continue on here at the Henderson Center. Marshall getting set to take on the nickname of this team that Marshall is facing today, the Screaming Eagles. Screaming Eagles.
Okay.
So Marshall facing Southern Indiana. Bill Cornwell has joined us. Luke Creasy is going to join us when we continue. That's coming up next here on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
The Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe heard what you're craving and is here to satisfy your appetite for value. Introducing the All Mine for $10.99 menu for a limited time only at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Enjoy bottomless Fiesta Bravo chips and salsa, your choice of a chicken sandwich, or a Hall of Fame cheeseburger, fries, and a drink for only $10.99.
All that for $10.99?
No, all mine for $10.99. No rules, any day, anytime. All mine for only $10.99 from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue in downtown Huntington.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Save big money on everything for your staining project at Menards. Minwax makes it easy to stain and protect any wood project from start to finish. For your next interior wood project, Minwax Wood Finish is the perfect choice. It's a penetrating oil-based wood stain that provides beautiful rich color in just one coat. Save big money on all Minwax products at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at StalwartInsurance.com.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to the Cam Henderson Center for today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We've had an all-star show so far. John Sutherland just a few minutes ago, and now we've got Luke Creasy fresh from his road trip. He went to Hattiesburg, enjoyed the cuisine, brought back a win for the Thundering Herd. And now he's got a little beef with Coach Huff earlier today on the Sun Belt Conference call. I mean, Luke's late, one time? You didn't get one time you didn't attend.
Yeah.
And you were here doing Marshall basketball, and he's taken it out on you every call since.
I mean, I told him I was going to show up 1 minute late for his press conference tomorrow, because that's what he was today on the Sunbelt call. But, hey, about showing up when it matters most, right?
Right, exactly. The Herd showed up on Saturday. We were watching the basketball game, kind of keeping an eye up here on what was happening and okay, Marshall, big play, and then, okay, settle for field goal. And it kind of felt early like, uh-oh, what's going on in Hattiesburg? Yeah. And then the Herd just figured it out, whatever it was, and took off. What was it, and how they looked to you?
Yeah, I think it was just about finding what worked. And, they had a lot of struggles in the red zone on Saturday. When you look at, their first 4 drives went down inside the 10-yard line, and you only came away with 10 points. And that was because you had a touchdown on the 4th one. But, those first 3 you settled, you got down to the 2-yard line, settled for 3, missed a field goal on the next drive, then you turned the ball over on downs. And nobody was really happy with that, but it was about keeping the foot on the gas. That game could have and probably should have been 21-28-0 after the first quarter, but it wasn't. And, they had, a double-digit lead at half still, but, they came out and took care of business in the third quarter, and that's when it really the urgency seemed to pick up for Marshall, and they got a couple big touchdowns. Ethan Payne springs off for a 36-yard run, and Toby catches one. And, it seemed like they took advantage of, a Southern Miss defense that was a little bit worn down by the end of it. Marshall got great push on both sides of the line all day, and people talk about winning games at the line of scrimmage, and I think it's truly what Marshall was able to do, because that game was never felt like it was close. Marshall breaks off a 69-yard pass play on the first play from scrimmage, and, Braylon Braxton told me after the game, he goes, it was then that I kind of figured out what this game was going to be. And, 500 yards of offense later, they walk away with a blowout win, which was I felt like they kept the foot on the gas late in the game, which is something that this coaching staff has not done previously. It's been okay, we've got a lead, let's go safe and play conservative a lot of the time. And that wasn't the case Saturday, and that was different. And I feel like there's a different sense of urgency now after, looking at what happened against Georgia Southern and how heavy and large that loss is looming at this point in the year.
The good news is bowl eligibility, that's always what you want. But at this point, if you can't make bowl eligibility, you've got problems, because there are so many bowls, and it's almost you have to be going to a bowl. That's sort of expected. That's a minimum right now. So they should be happy. Not everybody gets to go to a bowl. We've seen years where student athletes have never been to a bowl, or first time ever and only time. Marshall's been able to do it, 8 consecutive seasons now, become bowl eligible. But that's usually not enough for the Herd fans.
Yeah, and you referenced that Sunbelt conference call with Coach Huff, and one of the comments he made on there was, in this day and age of college football, consistency gets hard, especially at the Group of 5 level when you look at, sometimes when talent gets poached and, you're trying to rebuild year after year, there aren't a ton of Group of 5 teams that are able to keep up, even mediocre levels of success. And I think, bowl eligibility, that is the line of mediocrity. Because if you're consistently making bowls, you have the chance to be better. If you're not, you don't have a chance to be, up at the top, competing for championships and that. So, that to me is a baseline. And Marshall's met that baseline for, 11 of the last 12, I think.
Yes, that sounds right.
And so that's not a bad place to be at a program. But at the same time, you want to get, reaching that 8-9 win mark. It would feel different this season because of the, challenges that, appeared to be on the schedule. And you look at some of those Power 5 games that they played. And so, and Marshall certainly has the ability to reach that 8 to 9 win mark depending on how the rest of the season shakes out. And, but nobody on the team is satisfied, but they should be able to celebrate the fact that they did reach 6 wins when, let's be honest, how many Marshall fans were pegging them as a bowl-eligible team at the beginning of the year?
It was a mix, and there's been a lot of concern that, okay, this is, and you've heard these rumors and you've seen the speculation, oh, this is Coach Huff's last year. This is, they have to turn the program around. Well, they're in a spot right now where they're competing still for the East Division. It's not over yet. Georgia Southern could stumble somewhere. They've already done it once. It could happen again. Marshall has to take care of its business. We see what happens at the very end. Whatever happens, I think Marshall's put itself in a good spot. If it doesn't win the East Division this year, maybe you keep it together for the most part. You can challenge for it next year and get that championship you want.
Yeah, and I think that I think at the beginning of the year there were very few people that believed Huff might be here past this season. And I think as the year has gone on and the success they've had, I think there are a few more people, at least that I've seen and talked to, that wouldn't be opposed to the idea of, hey, if we get close, if we compete for one, if Huff is able to stay, why not keep it rolling? And obviously there's still, that decision comes from the athletic administration, and they've been eerily quiet about the whole thing, which is kind of to be expected from, historically. But, it's definitely something to look out for. But Marshall's got to keep it 1 week at a time. They can't worry about what happens next year because they've still got a lot of opportunity in front of them this year.
Yeah, that's a great point. You're not going to hear much from the administration or the coaches or the athletic department because in this day and age, everybody's in a bunker mentality. There's so many more ways to communicate. So, in a sense, we can get information out to more people, and they've kind of drawn in a little bit on everything, not just here at Marshall, but across the board. And so you're not going to hear anything, and that causes maybe a little anxiety with fans sometimes.
Yeah, sure. And I think you said it well. It's not people like to think that, oh, this is just something that Marshall does, but it's not. It's Marshall is a reflection of what else is happening around college athletics, and it's an ever-changing world. But certainly a lot of opportunities still out in front of the football team, and that starts this weekend against a Coastal Carolina team that rebounded itself.
Luke Creasy's with us from HD Media. So you left, you went to Hattiesburg, and we had one set of playoff rankings and the WVSSAC. You get back, and we have another set of rankings in the WVSSAC, and we might change all of that again tomorrow. That's been fun for you, I'm sure, to just watch that from afar, how crazy that is. I made the issue earlier that some of these injunctions lawsuits are because of loss of revenue for some schools, and I had a couple of people text in and say, hey, look, you know what? Everybody makes the playoffs in Quad A, so why is revenue an issue? It costs a lot of money if you're traveling to Martinsburg.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah, and as long as we're being honest, the whole thing is a mess.
Yes.
You have, quite frankly, in my opinion, adults getting in the way of what students have accomplished, and that's not okay, especially when you talk about at the high school level. Like, people work hard to be able to play in the playoffs, to be able to, even with let's take the conversation outside of football. Let's look at volleyball. They've postponed the Class A volleyball tournament because of an injunction filed against, the WVSSAC. And, it was postponed indefinitely. And so now, high school athletes that earn that opportunity, they're not getting it because of decisions adults have made on both sides, Paul. It's not just, the WVSSAC. It's the people challenging. There are consequences when you come to challenge stuff in the legal pathway. And I don't like to see it, but, you had to anticipate that it was coming, especially with the way that things shook out with football earlier this year when they changed those classifications, within a week or two of the regular season starting. And, there are teams that have a point with, for Huntington, they lost five of their opponents went from 4A to 3A. And it did cost them points. Is it enough to warrant legal action rather than just Huntington was going to be a high seed anyway, let's just play? I don't know. But, the Cabell County Board of Education seemed on board with filing that injunction. Cabell Midland, they had a strong back half of the year, and, certainly I don't think they would be, in line to host a single playoff game, really. But, it's a sad situation, and it's a mess, and I don't know that there's a solution right now that's going to satisfy everybody, but they put themselves in that position.
Nobody will be happy. We're here at the Cam Henderson Center, Paul Swann. Luke Creasy's with us from HD Media. Before we let Luke go, we've got our text question today. Now, we're giving away, get this, we're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to Saturday's football game. And since I got a 4-pack of tickets to Saturday's basketball game, why not just give them to one winner so that way you can make a whole day of it?
Hey,
that's a pretty good deal.
Opportunity.
That's a good deal. So I'm asking the question to help people, and I'll get your guess. How many three-point attempts will the Herd make today? Attempts, not makes, because right now they're not making many. How many attempts? We've got 22 so far. We have got 25 shots as well, and I've got I got more. I'll read that later, but 22, 25. It's been in the 20s is what I'm getting from a few people. They're averaging 33 shots a game. 66 so far is what they've done, so 33 a game.
I'm going to say, and I'm not going to win tickets.
You're not going to win. You might.
If I win, I'll just give them away on your show.
Okay, there you
tomorrow.
go. Courtesy of Luke Creasy. You win courtesy of Luke Creasy.
Oh, man. I'm going to go 31.
31? All right. I'd put you on the spot and say how many are they going to make, but that would not be fair to you. You want that, Smoke? 11. Okay, Luke says they're going to be 11 of 31. All right. We'll see if he's right. Glad you're back home safely. Looking forward to this one tonight. Marshall and by the way, Luke has got I'm worried about you, buddy, because you saw the nickname of this opponent, and all of a sudden you had an adverse reaction to it. They are the Screaming Eagles. The Screaming Eagles of Southern Indiana.
I don't know what it is about the nickname. Maybe it's the image of the Southern Indiana graduate Dan Hollis just screaming.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if it's that turns me off, but definitely a unique name.
Screaming Eagles.
There's the Morehead State, just the Eagles. There's the Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Normal to put it.
We're Eagles. We're confident.
Screaming Eagles.
Screaming Eagles.
I don't get it.
Screaming because they get beat a lot? I don't know.
More power to them.
Yeah, I mean, this team is good, though. They lost 2 games in overtime to Bucknell and DePaul. I think we're going to get a good game tonight.
Yeah.
That's what I'm selling to people.
I'm hoping so.
Luke Creasy, my friend and my guest. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Quick timeout. Bill Cornwell checks in. We're getting you set for basketball. Coming up a little bit later on is going to be West Virginia and Appalachian Laborers District Council college basketball today. Bill Cornwell comes up next to round things out here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hey, Tri-State, there is a place to shop at. The Huntington's Peddlers Mall is now open in the historic Central City District in Huntington. Over 200 vendors specializing in vintage antiques, home decor, furniture, collectibles, new mattresses, and everything in between. Peddlers Mall, located 800 14th Street West in Huntington. It's the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Visit anytime. Check out the website, peddlersmall.com, for more information. It's the Tri-State place to shop, Huntington's Peddlers Mall.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Milton, Russ McRae, 304-743-9318. And in Lavalette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Hi, I'm Nori, and over the years, my mother and I have opened our homes to those who need it most, and it's been so rewarding. I bet you didn't know that some adults who have unfortunately been mistreated need a place to call home in West Virginia. It happens more than you know. They may have some physical or mental limitations, and they need your help. Everyone deserves a place to call their own. I can tell you from my experience, it's worth it.
If you have an open heart and want to open your home, Adult Family Care may be the right fit for you. Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an Adult Family Care Home Finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Psst, hey, can I share a secret? Collins Career Technical Center. It's the best kept secret in the Tri-State. Small class sizes, personalized attention, and hands-on learning with the latest equipment. And you know what? It's not just for high school students. Their adult programs can jumpstart any career. Many grads have job offers before they even finish. That's the magic of Collins Career Technical Center. Hey, head on over to collins-cc.edu and get signed up before everyone finds out about this.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We're wrapping up today's edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 AM 930. Bill Cornwell joins me. We're getting set for West Virginia and Appalachian Laborers District Council College basketball today. We got to hit the text line quickly. I've got a 4-pack of tickets for the football game, a 4-pack of tickets for the basketball game. I'm asking everyone, how many three-point shots will Marshall attempt tonight? I've got 16 as a guess. I have also got 26. I've got someone agreeing with me that 66 shots so far and not that many makes is a big issue here. We're going to break all of that down for you in a second, but Bill, you and I could get out there and shoot 66 and maybe make as many right now.
As far as threes are concerned, Hurd's putting up about 30, 31 a game on average for these first two games. They're just not making many. Well, you made 8 on the first game. You made 9 the other day. And William Moore made half of them on Saturday. So they've got to get more consistent production shooting the ball, but they also want to continue to pound it low. And, of course, a big thing would be Obina and Nate staying out of foul trouble. Of course, Obina got in foul trouble on Saturday against Toledo. That did not help the cause.
No, it did not. The Herd has shot 17 of 66 from three-point land.
Yep, 9 and 8. 9 and 8.
Not good. Not good at all. 17 and 66 from the three-point line cumulatively. We'll break it down for you in just a few moments. We'll welcome everyone on 93.7 The Dog for West Virginia and Appalachian Laborers District Council College basketball today. For our producer, Lenny Sindall, for John Sutherland, we appreciate him, from the Big Green checking in, and Luke Creasy from HD Media. I'm Paul Swann. Bill Cornwell, he'll be joining me next as well here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930, and soon on 93.7 The Dog.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRBC and W231BS Huntington.